And we're back with 843 TV, and I'm delighted to introduce you to Robert Cartner, who's the Deputy Patrol for the Mosquitoes patrols here on Beaufort County. Delighted to meet you. But also I want to share with you, this airplane is very important to the county, and then you're going to tell us all about that as well. So let's get started. Right. 'Tis the season, and you know, pest mosquitoes are on our way, and it's very important that we control them. So tell us about the program.
Right, so the program started in the 1970s. We operate all throughout Beaufort County, so the entire county is within our borders in our operational district. So we do everything we can to control the mosquitoes and prevent mosquito-borne diseases like West Nile virus or Eastern equine encephalitis from infecting horses, animals, people, and just protecting the health of the residents and visitors of Beaufort County.
Well, you know, we think about that, and you know, we've had COVID, and that's been on our mind. But also, remember when the West Nile came in, and it was almost platonic. You know, we thought the plague came through, and all these different diseases, and they are airborne. So it's important for us to maintain that. But also, we have an ecosystem. We have other things that live on the planet. So how do you manage all this? How does this all work?
Right. So that's a good question. So all of the products that we use to control either adult mosquitoes or the aquatic stage of mosquito larvae are registered by the EPA. So we're required by law to follow all the label registrations and all the regulations to make sure that we do protect all of the health and humans in the program,
right?
And all of the other non-target insects we might not want to be impacting. So when we're out doing our applications, whether by ground in our trucks for our ultra low volume spraying, or with the aircraft to control adult mosquito populations, we're applying at times when only the mosquitoes are active. So other pollinators we might be concerned about aren't active at those times. So we're applying at dawn and dusk, so right before the sun comes up and right before the sun goes down. So
as us humans, I just learned in something. I want to be outside before and after, but not during, right?
Right, yep.
So we also have to be careful. Like we have beehives, we have beekeepers here in our community, right? And that is a population that you're very sensitive to with the spraying and mosquitoes. So tell us, how do you manage that?
Right, so we try to work with all the beekeepers in the county. We encourage all of them to let us know when they have hives, if they're getting new hives, if they move to the county. We want to know where they are so that we can protect them. So we like to work with beekeepers and other people that are sensitive to this so that we can both do our part to protect the pollinators and to protect the health and the health of the public and the visitors.
Right, no, that makes total sense. So let me ask you this, so time of season, this is now, we're in March, actually April is going to be around the corner. So when do you start doing all this patrolling? So
we operate year round, but adult mosquitoes really aren't active right now. So we usually do our surveillance right now to control mosquito larvae, but pretty much probably about May is when we'll start to ramp up with our controlling of adult mosquitoes. So we do our best to get to them before they're adults and before they're flying around. So pretty much May, when it gets to that point, we'll be.
And then how many months therefore after you maintain it? Is it?
Our season's pretty active until about November. So if you get a really good warm winter, we could be applying in December if we find any diseases in the mosquitoes. Thinking
about that, so how do we do this year? With this upcoming season for what we're doing, how is our winter, and are we having an early season, as they say?
That's a question that everybody asks, and we really never know exactly. So we did have a warm season, and we usually have a warm winter. So none of the adult mosquitoes that might have been living from last winter, they carried over, so they weren't killed by any hard frost. So we're probably looking at a pretty mild start, though. It all depends on the rain.
Oh yes, the rain.
It all centers around how much rainfall we get in the early spring.
You know, this is becoming almost like a biology science project, because there is these trends, and you have to pay attention to that. So as somebody, you know, I'm kind of curious myself here. Let's talk a little bit more about that. You're talking about May. That's when they sort of is the season for when they start to hatch.
Right.
And then they go through the summer. But when you do your analysis and you look back, I mean, can you see changes in the climate? Do you see changes in temperatures? I mean, does that anything play into what you do today?
Absolutely, yeah. We do a lot of data analysis. That's a lot of what science, what goes into science. A lot of time is spent analyzing everything you've done. So we see a lot of seasonality among the different types of mosquitoes. We have 53 different types of mosquitoes in Beaufort County.
Really?
And they all have a preferred seasonality. They prefer a different time of the year. They all have a preferred host to feed on. They all have preferences for where they grow. So some mosquitoes we see in the winter, some mosquitoes we see all season, some mosquitoes we only see a couple months in the summer. So it really just depends. So really the vicious ones are right around the summertime.
Well, that's a little daunting though, to think that we have 52 kinds and then they just kind of move around. I always thought we could have had one mosquito and they did their one thing, but no, it's an a la carte thing going on. So somebody, like when our viewers are watching us, what can they do to help themselves with the mosquitoes?
So what we like to say, it's standard in mosquito control is the 3 Ds. So it's drain, dress, and defend. So drain, if you have any standing water around your property. Mosquitoes can breed in as much water as is in a bottle cap. They won't last very long in there, but any amount of water that stands for a week or more, mosquitoes will likely breed in it. So the residents can go around and drain any flower pots, trash bags, kiddie pools, things like that can breed mosquitoes. That's one thing. So dress. Wear light colored clothing. Mosquitoes are attracted to dark colors, so wear loose fitting clothing. So some mosquitoes can bite right through this shirt, and they will. And defend. Wear any insect repellent that's EPA approved. We prefer DEET, picaridin, lemon oil of eucalyptus, something that's been rigorously tested and is well known to defend against mosquito bites.
That is such a great, thank you for that information, because a lot of us don't know it and now I have an understanding. But before I do let you go, this airplane flies around. This is a very important one, because this one, what does it do? It drops the...
Yeah, so this is a 1968 OV-10 Bronco that's used to control the adult mosquito populations in the county. Many of the residents probably have seen it flying over their house pretty low, in the wee hours of the morning. But we operate at 200 feet. And the product that we use for adult mosquitoes comes out of these pods on the side. And the droplets that come out are smaller than the width of a human hair. And so they're very tiny. And actually when we're applying, we apply, I don't know if you can see this, this is the amount of product that we're putting out per acre when we're applying. So it's about 0.85 ounces per acre.
Oh, that's amazing. I mean, we have run out of time for this one, but there's so much more to understand about this. Go to your website. But Robert, nice to meet you, and thank you so much for joining us.
You too. Thanks for having me.
And we'll be right back with more Airport Cir TV.